If your partner told you that an ex was better in bed, how would you react?
My not being as good as her ex in bed would not be the issue. The issue would be that she, an adult woman, decided that to express herself to me, the man whom she is supposed to love, chose the most abrasive, insulting, and unnecessary words that came to mind. If a grown-ass woman demonstrates such a lack of competence in communicating her feelings, she is not a woman I would want to be with any longer.
That's being generous. She is really being disrespectful and made this comparison to specifically put you down. Relationships are based on trust and respect. Lose one and you lose the relationship. And here, she clearly doesn't respect her partner. And that kind of nuclear stuff also makes you lose trust in your partner. No point in continuing the relationship after that. However, in real life, the truth is usually messy and not as black and white as Reddit likes to make things fit. Chances are, she probably said that after several other incidents where both people were being disrespectful to one another. So she probably decided to take things up a notch and say something that really hurts the other person. Stuff like this is usually a culmination of an already doomed relationship.
My partner has a difficult time communicating due to a bad childhood. She has said equally hurtful things to me during arguments. It feels like she wants to hurt first because she expects the argument to go that way. This is not the end of the relationship automatically. I understand and accept the reasons for her behavior. I do not accept the behavior or the abuse. I have let her know many times that the things she says are unacceptable. If I don't get an apology, we don't talk for a while. It has taken us 3 years to get to the point where she recognizes the behavior and will sometimes apologize when it happens instead of later. If you don't have the patience or think you like her well enough to wait that long, shut it down now.
Difficulty communicating can sometimes be more than a bad childhood. Any chance she's neurodivergent? I am, and I have said that sort of thing. And worse, to my partner, who was left so hurt and baffled at the shit that used to come out of my mouth. He's had the patience, it's been a two-way street, to teach me to more than just blatantly speak my truth. My parents are some of the most critical people in the world, and most of what I modeled in a relationship came from a very effed up dynamic. I didn't know I even had needs, let alone how to communicate them to others. In retrospect, I could see how I dated so many guys who I hurt badly, where in the past I was clueless. It's not okay, even if she didn't intend to hurt you. If she's worth your effort, some very honest and open conversations need to happen. And if not, cut her loose and find someone who is ready to grow with you.
This makes sense to me. Learning new things today. May I ask how or what should be defined as trust and respect? What's healthy and what's not? A small example would help. Asking cause I am learning and trying to improve myself. Sorry if this is a naive question.
The above is a perfect example of unhealthy and wrong. Your partner should never say things like this to you or insult you. They should do the exact opposite.
There is no naive question. There's only unasked questions. Trust and respect means just that. Don't overthink it. Meaning if your gut feel tells you you're being disrespected, or if the other person is not trusting you, or they're doing or saying stuff that is making you not respect them or trust them, that's your sign. And if you think you're the one overreacting, then wait for more evidence. Was their behavior a one-off incident, or do you see patterns of this repeated behavior? If it repeats, then you're not the one overreacting.
Yup, my wife of 14 years isn't as good at sex as some of the partners I've had before we met, and I keep that shit to myself. That said, my wife isn't bad, just not the robust sex lunatic that some of the women I've dated have been. The comparison would only be hurtful and disrespectful and would serve no purpose. A healthy person just communicates their needs.
Exactly this. Being an adult woman and have the nerve to say such a thing after such an intimate moment between you asks to be shown the exit door right after the act. For me personally, I would not tolerate such behavior. Probably end whatever kind of relationship we had after we get dressed, to be honest.
I'd go fuck him to find out if she was telling me the truth.
I'm the ex she's referring to. You're free tonight?
You guys are killing me.
Get rid, insulting and demeaning you, mate. Have some self-respect and integrity.
What if he asked the question? Some people do white lies for the sake of their relationship, and some people think it's unhealthy. If you ask a question, you should be able to handle the honest answer. And if you can't, then don't ask.
He didn't ask. He said she mentioned it in an argument.
Ah, then she's not worth his time.
Why would you even want to ask about past sexual experiences and then having yourself compared to them? That's just something that really needs to be kept to yourselves.
Some people do things like that. It's not unheard of, and it's a stupid idea.
Of course, you were 40 pounds lighter and hot back then.
This is the only response if what she said was done in anger or designed to hurt you. And this is also the way.
I'm all about compassion, seeing all sides and taking emotion out of situations so that you are left with the truth. But fuck me, that's a good response.
I usually don't show compassion to those that intend to hurt me.
Good mindset. No mercy for those who wouldn't show any.
It really depends on how the message was delivered and intent. That's a really rough thing to say. If the conversation is on improving your sex lives and how she liked in the past, that's one thing. But if the goal is to make you feel bad, you're in an abusive situation. It would probably be a pattern of abuse, and I'd likely be looking to leave.
Tell me about it. My ex was a total freak, and I'm getting tired of the dead fish here. Want to work on it and communicate what we can do better to improve our sexy time?
Grown adults stop calling sex sexy time challenge.
I've been married for 30 years, and my wife and I think it's cute to call it sexy time. Who are you to tell me what words I can use and when?
I'm grown, 38, been married for 14 years, together for 17 years with my wife. We still say sexy time or talk silly about sex. Sex doesn't need to be super serious all the time. It should be fun. Some of our best sex started out as us laughing and playing together, which leads into sex. We get all hot and engrossed in one another and end laughing in happiness. Sex can be many things, friend.
If a woman wants you to improve in sex, then she can guide you to what she likes, give you tips, etc. If she is saying that, it means she's trying to hurt you and has zero respect for you. So I would dump her.
Leaving her.
I know, right? It's sad that people humiliate themselves like this and stay with people like that. I mean, have some self-respect. I mean, Jesus Christ, you owe it to your fucking ancestors. At least not for yourself.
Someone said it.
That type of behavior from someone indicates, at a minimum, they're an asshole, and at worst, an early indicator they're manipulative, abusive. Knew someone my old roomie dated that would do that. Turned out the person was horribly manipulative.
Ask what I can do more. Try to learn a few things, gain some XP, then leave her.
She wouldn't be my partner anymore.
If your current partner is shallow enough to tell you his or her ex was better in the sack, it's probably time to move them on.
Yeah, and my ex had bigger tits than you, so I guess we both settled.
So you're the one who got dumped? Then dump her for the shits and or giggles.
You broke Rule 4. Please gather your things and leave immediately.
Honestly, I'd break up with them. It has nothing to do with ego. I know there are men out there that are better in bed than me, but if somebody feels the need to say something hurtful like that to me, they don't deserve to be in my life. I also prefer the bliss of ignorance. I don't want to know a single detail of your sexual history prior to me, not one single detail.
It's almost as bad as when they tell you they've had sex with someone who has a massive cock, which is only meant to hurt you.
Girl here, I can answer how a girl would react and why you should never say it this way. Learn from my ex. Him. I have to say, you're not good at being on top. My ex was much better at riding me. Me. Silence. Him. Look, I'm being honest here. You are, however, much better at blowjob. She never wanted to blow me. Said ex never had me riding him again since he made that comment. Nor did he have a long, good blowjob again from me. He complained but never said sorry. Said it was his unconventional compliment to me and didn't know why I was so hurt over it. Sex was dead. My insecurity with him was through the roof. The relationship eventually ended.
To be honest, some context is needed, but overall, that is beyond disrespectful. Beyond. But how did it come about? Did you ask or continue to ask, and they finally gave you the answer? If so, then your own self-confidence caused that. Or, did you randomly tell you after y'all had sex? There are a few things that could have happened, but overall, it shouldn't have been said. Again, unless you brought it out of her. If you suck at sex and you didn't annoy them about it, then the talk should have been about your performance in a vacuum, not being compared to an ex.
That it was mentioned in an argument tells me that in her mind, it's actually true. Women will throw shit like that out during a fight because they are aiming to hurt you emotionally as much as possible. And this was her jab at your manhood. I'd consider taking a hard look at your relationship. And if you're not fully invested, you might want to just walk. She believes you're lesser, and there's not much that you can do to change her opinion.